Imagine waking on a stone ledge at the edge of the world. Frost crusts the doorway, your breath hangs like smoke, and below you, the terraces of your village stair-step into a sea of clouds. The sun hasn't cleared the peaks, but you already taste the bitter leaf you'll chew, to keep your legs moving and your head clear. At 4,000 meters in the Andes, the air is thin, the nights are a freezer, and the days burn. Yet the Inca not only lived here, they built an empire from this altitude. In the next 15 minutes, we'll climb through 10 Inca survival secrets that made life possible in the sky. The final one? It turned a harsh mountain night into a pantry that outlived kings. Stick around. Welcome to Ancient Civilizations Discovered, where we raid history's toolboxes and try not to pass out on the way up. Today, we're living a day at 4,000 meters in the high Andes Inca style. No engines, no electricity, just stone, sun, wind, and wit. You'll see how they breathed, ate, farmed, dressed, stored food for years, crossed chasms on grass, and negotiated with the mountains themselves. If you've ever wondered how a people turned altitude into advantage, lace your sandals. We're ascending. Number 10. Morning breath. Winning the battle with thin air. Before you lift a basket, you lift your breath. At 4,000 meters, the air is a stingy miser. Every inhale buys you less. The Inca answer wasn't panic, it was rhythm. You rise slowly, you sit by the coals and warm your lungs, and you chew coca, a handful of green leaves tucked in the cheek like a secret. It's not about euphoria, it's about clarity, steady legs, quiet pulse, no hammering in the skull. You walk with the mountain, not against it. Short steps, even strides, exhale on effort, and their roads help. The Imperial Highway, the Capac Ñan, never throws you at the slope. It switchbacks to trick the gradient and grants time to breathe. Way stations, tampas, appear like commas in a long sentence. A bench, a gourd of drink, a moment's air. Even hauling water, you pause at the same stones your grandparents used. Survival here is a choreography between lungs and land. Quick question. Could you carry a basket uphill without stopping to swear? The Inca did it while singing. Number 9. The wardrobe is armor, llama, alpaca, and the art of warmth. Your clothing is your furnace. Night steals heat from bones. The Inca fought back with fiber engineering. Every thread mattered. Alpaca and llama wool were spun tight for warmth. Commoners wore sturdy Ayahuasca wool, while the finest compi cloth, soft as breath, wrapped nobles and messengers who braved the cold at all hours. The unku, tunic, isn't a fashion statement, it's a wall. Over it goes a heavy poncho that traps body heat, a yikya, mantle, pinned at the chest, and yes, at altitude, ear-covering headgear and layered wraps for hands and calves. Sandals, ushutas, of leather or woven fiber get extra wool because cold climbs from the stone. Wool isn't just warm, it breathes in the heat and insulates in the freeze. It laughs at sleet, sneers at wind. Even ropes and slings are wool, tools that don't stiffen at dawn. Imagine your wardrobe doing the work of a heater, a sunscreen, and a windbreak, then doubling as a blanket at night. In the Andes, the closet is survival tech. Number 8. Houses that hug the hill. Stone, adobe, and ichu thatch. Your wall thinks like a thermos. At 4,000 meters, a house is not a box, it's a heat battery. The Inca built low, tight stone or adobe dwellings with thick walls that hoard warmth by day and release it by night. Windows are small, doors a line away from the worst winds, and the hearth nestles in the corner where heat licks the stone and lingers. Roofs wear ichu grass, that golden highland straw that bends without breaking, layered thick on wooden beams. Ichu sheds sleet, shrugs sun, and insulates like a flock of alpaca asleep on your rafters. Villages aren't scattered, they cluster. Houses crowd each other on terraces, sharing walls and courtyards to trap warm air. Animals bed near the home, their heat is part of the equation. In the evening, coals get buried to wake again at dawn. You don't conquer the cold, you budget it brick by brick, thatch by thatch, until morning arrives and the stone steps sigh out the night. Number 7. Terraces, turning cliffs into cropland. The mountains aren't flat? Make them flat. The Inca answer to skinny soil and greedy slopes is the andan, a stone-walled terrace that steps a hillside into a ladder of fields. Each terrace is a miniature world. Gravel at the base for drainage, mixed earth on top for roots, just enough lip to hug heat. Terraces slow water, tame landslides and spread sunlight. They create microclimates, a few degrees warmer than open ground, enough to spare tender sprouts from dawn's bite. Irrigation doesn't come from nowhere. Channels comb the slopes. Stone-lined canals, braided from mountain springs, release water where needed and hold it back where not. Women sow potatoes, oca, mashwa and quinoa across the steppes, each crop placed by altitude and exposure like a chess master setting pieces. From below, the terraces look like a green staircase to the sky. From above, they look like insurance against hunger. Question: would your garden work on a cliff? Theirs did, by design. Number 6. Raised fields and warm water, outsmarting frost. When the night tries to kill your crops, make it tuck them in. Near high lakes and marshy flats, Andean farmers built raised fields with shallow water channels between. By day, the water drinks sun. By night, it sighs warmth back toward the seedlings. Frost arrives like a thief and finds the ground already guarded. This system, known today as waru, buffers roots from drowning in the wet season and from freezing in the dry. A layer of reeds, compost and mud turns each bed into a living mattress for crops. Picture a field glittering with ice at dawn. Step onto the raised bed and dig. Beneath the crust, the soil is alive, damp, but not dead. That's the point. You can't persuade the mountain to be gentle, so you coax heat out of water instead. It's as elegant as any formula. Sun, canal, night, leaves saved. The result? Potatoes where potatoes should not dare. Number 5. Roads, runners, and rope bridges. Moving through the sky. Cross the world without touching the ground. An empire spread across mountain saw-teeth needs arteries. The Inca carved a stone highway along ridgelines and through high passes, paved where cliffs demanded, stair-stepped where gravity sulked. Over ravines, they threw grass suspension bridges, braids of ichu thick as a man's thigh, anchored to living stone. These bridges swayed like the bellies of great fish. You cross with hands on side ropes and feet, learning a new dance. Build it with grass, you ask? Yes. And rebuild it each year with communal hands because grass obeys time more than iron. Along this aerial road sprint the shaski, relay runners with feathered staves and quipu bundles flying between tampas. A runner never gallops a mountain alone. He swaps the quipu, knotted records of tribute, grain and orders, into a fresh hand and breath. Logistics is survival. Runners warn of storms, move salt, charqui, jerked llama, and news to where it's needed. With roads that arc along the ridge and bridges that float over the void, the Inca shrug at the abyss and keep walking. If this all feels impossible, wait for the pantry trick at the end. The lightest food in the empire, made without fire or salt, that could feed a family long after snow smothered the fields. It's the mountain's own gift, once you learn how to ask for it. Number 4. The high-altitude menu. Potatoes, quinoa, maize, and heat. Eat the mountain, but cook it first. Breakfast begins before the sun. Toasted maize or a quinoa porridge, maybe a hot mate of herbs to warm the chest. The Inca table is altitude-proof. Thousands of potato varieties staggered by elevation. Quinoa that laughs at thin air, caniwa and amaranth for extra strength, and oca and mashua for surprise sweetness. Lower terraces gift maize for chicha, fermented drink that fuels feasts and labor. Higher pastures give llama and alpaca for meat and milk. Meat rarely arrives fresh. It arrives as charqui, salted, sun-dried strips that cook into stews with chilies, uchu, and herbs. Fat is precious at altitude because it burns slowly against the cold. Soups shimmer, stews cling. A pot might bubble all afternoon by a low fire, lid rattling in the draught. When the sun strikes hard at midday, you step into shade and eat something salted. When evening turns iron, you ladle something thick. Does it sound simple? It is, and it's engineered for endurance. Number 3, coca and chicha, energy, ritual, and the social battery. The leaves in your cheek and the drink in your gourd do more than flavor the day. At altitude, the Inca managed the body like a workshop. Coca leaves are sacred and practical, chewed by herders on long walks, by porters on steep climbs, by weavers who need hands steady and minds alert. Offer a few leaves at the shrine to the Apu, the mountain lord, then tuck a wad in the cheek and go. Your stomach forgets hunger for a while. Your breath finds a rhythm. The headache holds its tongue. Chicha is the other battery, brewed from maize, foamy and sour sweet. It's the drink of fields and festivals, poured on the earth in libation, passed hand to hand in work parties. Nothing knits a village like a shared gourd and a shared job. You dig a canal, terrace a slope, raise a roof. You drink, sing, and call it even. Survival at 4,000 meters is never solitary. It is a chorus, leaves, song, and the clinking of clay cups. Number 2, colchas and quipus, cold storage and cold math. Beat winter with stone and knots. Food doesn't just grow, you have to hold it. The Inca built colchas, stone storehouses, on high windy slopes where air is dry, shade is long, and mice hate the hike. Their vents face reliable breezes, their floors are cool. Inside sit quinoa, maize, charqui, and best of all, potatoes, rendered into something nearly immortal. We'll get there. Every village knows which colcha is full and which is getting fussy. Counting grain and scheduling distribution in a world without ink? That's what quipus do. Knotted strings record what, how much and where. Paired with trained minds, they become ledgers. A steward reads a line of knots the way a sailor reads the sea. When frost ruins a terrace in one valley, wagons of llama and lines of runners carry food from another. The system is mita, labour tax, and reciprocity. Work today, eat tomorrow, never starve alone. The cold is patient, the state is more patient. Number 1, night as a freezer, the ghost white food that outlived kings. The mountain makes ice every night. The Inca turned that into dinner. Here's the secret we promised. Chuño, the freeze-dried potato that weighs almost nothing and lasts for years. It sounds like sorcery because it is. Andean sorcery of physics. When nights fall like a hammer on the plateau, families spread small, bitter potatoes on the ground. At dawn, they are stone hard with ice. In the sun, bare feet press them. Water, pushed from the cells, pearls on the skin and evaporates into the thin air. Night again, day again, freeze, press, dry, until each tuber becomes a light, white, wrinkled pebble that can sit in a colcha for seasons without rot. You can eat chuño boiled in broths, ground into flour for thickening, or stirred into stews with charqui and uchu, but its true power is time. With Chuño, a bad month is not a famine. With Chuño, an army walks light but eats heavy. With Chuño, a village bets against frost and winds. It's the Inca's ultimate mountain pact. Trade night's cruelty for shelf life. Let the cold do the work. Keep the harvest alive. Think about it. No salt mines required, no smokehouses, no clay sealed with fat. Just the sky, the ground, and the pace of days. It's so simple that it hurts your pride. Could you make food with nothing but frost and sun? Here they did it every winter, singing as they pressed potatoes underfoot. So, could you survive at 4,000 meters among the Inca? Only if you're ready to breathe on purpose, dress like a herd, and turn mountains into gardens. You'd need to store the wind in stone granaries, walk the sky on grass bridges, and eat the cold in the form of ghost white chuño. Up here, everything is negotiated, with sun and frost, with slope and stream, with lungs and legs and neighbours. The Inca didn't conquer altitude. They collaborated with it, writing treaties in terraces, canals, knots and cloth. If this ascent left you breathless, like and subscribe, and join us for the next climb into history's high places.